Well, I guess it had to happen sooner or later. This peaceful little oasis of Haiku developers and users is being torn apart, and we're seeing you know, forum posts in which it's either you leave or I leave, and uh, World War II references, shall we say. So, what is it? What is tearing apart the usual happy the usually happy-go-lucky haiku community? Is it the war in Iran? Is it the closing of the Hormuz Strait? The rise of far-right populism? Nope, nope, nope. It is the use of artificial intelligence in coding. Yeah, and people feel very strongly about it. There are people who feel very strongly that this is just a tool, and who are you to tell me what tools I can and can't use? And there are others who hate it to the point where they are apparently incapable of writing the letters A and I without putting the word slop behind it. Now, both sides, I think, are a bit short-sighted because they think, like most of the world these days thinks, that AI is the same as LLMs, large language models, which of course is not the case. We've all been using AI for 20 years already. Every time you spell check a document, every time you grammar check a document, even more so, that's a form of artificial intelligence. Yeah. But now, because we can now type in little conversations and get sort of more or less uh, understandable text back. Now we think, oh, we've entered the age of AI. No, we've been in there for a very, very long time. And every generation seems to be quite happy with its version of AI and, totally against the next one that comes along. Okay. I've experimented with it. I didn't think it did much for the kind of programming I do. I'm a YAB programmer. Picked an AI and tried to teach it YAB, and it came up with garbage that didn't run. You probably need a much bigger set of text to work from for it to produce anything useful. Okay, but that's just me. I have used AI for other non-coding things. But it's going to be touch and go because I am not seeing middle ground here. And maybe the time has come to just set up a new repository not only for people who want to write with AI. There can be a lot of other reasons why you wouldn't want to put yourself through the rather strict environment of Haiku ports. It's kind of a Wild West repository. Maybe we'll call it that. Get some free web space from iBiblio, somebody like that, and then for whatever reason you write apps and you would like to distribute them, but on a less formal basis. Because I get why they don't want AI generated code in the operating system, and I actually agree with it. But when you get to user applications, okay, well, fine, then let's let Haiku ports be Haiku ports, and let's have a third option. Now we've got other repositories. I have suggested that maybe they want to step up to this. I haven't heard back from them. Maybe they're not following the news. Maybe they're hiding because it's starting to get ugly out there. Well, we will have to see, won't we? I've run a repository before. It's a lot of work. I don't think I would want to do it entirely by myself. I'd need one or two people to do it with me. Also, I am not as young as I used to be. So if I set up a repository now, and then 5 or 10 years from now, it's, I'm developing wings, either white wings or red wings, depending on how you see it. And then who's going to take it over? Who's got the password? So you'd need at least 2, even better 3 people who are committed to it. Yeah. And even a week ago, I advised a new member on the forum, don't worry, it'll all blow over. There's always blow over. And then it flares up again. This is really turning out to be the one thing that is going to be problematical in the future. So maybe, those of us who have a different understanding of Haiku applications, not Haiku applications, should just have our own repository and our own discussion forum. Because, we're now getting to the point where people saying this was developed with AI shouldn't even be on the discussion forum. Or it should be marked so that we can filter it out. Yeah. Well, frankly, the real extremists on both sides are not really, in my humble opinion, trying to find a middle ground. Well, Well, we'll see how this develops, but yeah, I have not seen this much disagreement, this much actual flaming in the haiku community for a very long time. I mean, yeah, package management, there were people who complained about it for years, but it was never this personal. Okay, so there's a comment section down below. So let's talk about this. Should we establish, salon des réfugiés? A repository of apps that probably never going to make it into haiku ports. I'll put a few of my own in there. The thing is that a repository is really for applications that change a lot. See? So some of my Java programs that haven't changed in 9 years, and probably never will be, it's not really necessary to put something like that into a repository. But there are a few things that are update quite regularly, so that could go in there to give the new repo a bit of a start. And from there we can just let people know if you want your application to be available to people. But of course they'll have to know about it. Right now, if we set up a new repository that allowed AI, I think people would try to block it from even being announced on the forum. It's really getting to that point. Okay, that's it. Bit of a downer today, but what can you do? Thanks for